Every single month, I do a video called two undervalued stocks to consider for specific months. Many of you really enjoyed these kind of videos. I started doing them in February, talking about two cheap stocks with bad sentiment. They are undervalued. Some of them are shorter term investments. Some of them are high quality companies trading at a discount that should be held for the very long term. And I always get a lot of people that watch one or two of my videos and they tell me, yeah, but you have no track record, or what is your track record of these videos or these trades being successful? And I would again ask you, as this is the end of the year, to just go and look back at some of these videos and kind of see how these stocks performed. One of them is Ulta Beauty, which I'm gonna do a small analysis on it in the video, very short, and give you my opinion after it went up over 25%. Tell you if this is a long-term investment or not, review the earnings and see if something changed. But most of the stocks that I talked about have actually been performing well. Like this video I did 7 months ago, it was with the Michael Burry thumbnail, and I mainly talked about GEO, which was undervalued. It was sitting around $7.12, and since then, from $7.12, GEO is up over 44% since I made this video. Same thing with CSV. In my last video just last month, 4 weeks ago, I talked about CSV. CSV is up 17% in 1 month. Most of the stocks I talked about, Hims and Hers Health, Avalon Bay Communities, most of the Evolution Gaming, most of them have performed very, very well. Some of them have not performed well, like BJ's has been flat. Something like Mid-America Apartment Communities has also been flat to a little bit down. British American Tobacco has been down a little bit. So not all of them have gone up, but I believe we did pretty well in this series, and I'm going to continue doing these kind of videos in 2024. And now is the time for me to talk about Ulta Beauty and review the stock in general, but I'm going to give you a very, short introduction of the company and tell you what it's about. And I think most of you don't really need an introduction. I mean, if you live in the United States, women are obsessed with Ulta Beauty or Sephora. I mean, they like these kind of stores to go buy makeup. Even though they can buy the makeup on Amazon, they still choose to go to Ulta Beauty or something like Sephora. And Ulta Beauty has a pretty decent market share in the beauty category. Over 95% of sales is from loyalty members, people that normally shop there frequently. They get rewards and all these kind of things. And it has some kind of a cult following. And this is what I was trying to explain to people, is that it's been over 10 years where people can buy things on Amazon and they still go to Ulta Beauty, and they will likely continue going to Ulta Beauty. Now, the best part about Ulta Beauty's stores is that they have a mix of assortments. So they don't only have high-end makeup, or they don't only have low-end makeup, they have all kind of price ranges, from the lower end to the mid-end to the higher end. They have everything for everyone. So if you're on a budget and you cannot buy the kind of branded makeup that you buy, you want to buy something a little bit cheaper because maybe you're paying your student loans and you just can't afford it, you can go to Ulta Beauty and buy something cheaper than you would normally do. You wouldn't have to go on Amazon or do any other places. Wherever you shop, you could buy more expensive brands or less expensive brands depending on your budget. And this is pretty amazing with the store in general. Something that I'm really excited about with the company is the services revenues, because they have these stores, and yes, people can buy makeup on Amazon, but people can't do their hair on Amazon, they can't do their nails on Amazon, and they can't just do all the beauty stuff on Amazon or online, which is why Ulta Beauty is making a lot of spaces in these physical stores for services, hair, makeup, nails, and all these kind of things. And it's been successful, and this is something I'm excited about. So it just helps out the retail stores a lot. They have the online business, but this will help the retail stores, and it will help drive traffic very, very much. Now, in terms of the latest earnings report, they increased the guidance again, and this is what I pretty much talked about with Ulta buying back so much stock. I said Ulta would buy back so much stock that they will eventually have to raise EPS per share, and this is actually what happened. EPS per share was $25.10 to $25.60. Now it's $25.20 to $25.60, so over a 10 cents raise. Nothing crazy, but they still raised guidance for 2023. The biggest raise was in comparable sales. It was 4.5 to 5.5. Now it's 5 to 5.5. So it's been more resilient than people expected. The people that call for a recession because of the student loans, women will not buy makeup anymore. Well, women are still buying makeup. They're still getting their, taking care of themselves, buying, all kind of things, and you can see from the numbers. So it's been going well so far. In terms of the balance sheet, this is something I have to highlight. They went from something like 350 million of cash to only 121 million of cash. And normally Ulta has no debt, but this time they have short-term debt of 195 million from their credit facility. And they did explain that they used most of the money for inventories, but mainly for share repurchases. And I believe this is smart from Ulta Beauty. Ulta Beauty has been buying back stock consistently since 2016, and they will continue to buy back stock in 2022. I believe they bought back 5% of the market cap, and in 2023, I think they also buy back around 5 to 5.5%. And this is what Ulta should be doing. I said many times, Ulta should be borrowing money to buy back stock at a historical low multiple of around 14 times. This is where Ulta was trading at, 14 to 15 times. So this will create massive value to shareholders over the long term with all the buybacks that Ulta did. So I'm not really concerned about the long-term debt or the short-term debt. 195 million with Ulta Beauty. If I was them, I would have borrowed even more and buy back stock at such low level. It's going to create massive value to shareholders, and Ulta's free cash flow is still resilient. It's around 250 million a quarter, around $1 billion a year. So this is not really going to affect their balance sheet too much. 195 million, I think they can handle it, and I'm very happy with the execution of the management. The way I think about the return with Ulta Beauty, now sitting at 18 times earnings. I mean, the mean was 27 times earnings. This is how cheap this company is right now, and I don't believe we're going to go back to 27 times. Because I think the whole, retail sales growth and stuff, they're going to be a little bit slower in the future. I would say maybe 6, 7, 8% every single year in terms of, revenue growth or growth for the industry in general, after we had a hyped up market in 2021 and a lot of demand has been pushed forward. So I would say maybe Ulta would trade between 18 to 20 times. So I think the multiple expansion with Ulta is most likely over. I mean, I would not bet on it getting a multiple expansion too much. I would mainly look at how they can grow EPS per share, and they do it through revenue growth, of course, and also buyback program, which decreases shares outstanding and it increases EPS. EPS expected by the analysts are between 6%, 9%, then 12%. I'm not really counting on something like that. I would say between 6 to 10% on average. If we do get a 10% EPS on average, and this is what Ulta Beauty has been doing. I mean, it's been growing EPS a lot over the past few years, and some of these metrics are a little bit deceiving, like 478%. This is not true, but I would bet between something like 6 to 10%. So I think personally the Ulta Beauty is pretty much fairly valued at this level. I mean, I don't see anything more than 10 to 12% return, maximum 12% return with a multiple expansion every single year. So I would personally, not buy Ulta here if I did not have a position. I would wait. Maybe it will fill the gap around 425. If it gets to 425, then I think this would be an amazing, buying opportunity for a lot of people, and they can dollar cost average down, but it will most likely fill in the gap. This is what normally happens, and then it bounces from there or just keeps going lower. But I would doubt it would go lower. I think the stock has bottomed, and anything below 420, in my opinion, so around 16, 15 times earnings, will give you around 15% a year in terms of EPS growth conservatively and a potential multiple expansion. So this was my thoughts on Ulta Beauty. Many of you sold it. Many of you are still holding it. It's just up to you as a per preference. I share what I do in my own investment group if you're interested in joining. So thank you for watching the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. It was not financial advice. So if you did enjoy it, please press the like button and maybe consider subscribing. So I hope to see you in another video.